All right, let's look at the Roman period. Now, we ended our previous lesson talking about the period of Jewish independence and how now we're shifting from this time, from 166 up to 63 BC, to where now the Roman period becomes the dominant force on the world scene. So how does this happen? Well, let's take a look back at some of the names that we had looked at before. We remember that Mattathias started the revolution that ended up becoming the Maccabean Revolt. All of his sons became the leaders. And then finally, John Hyrcanus, right there, was the last son of Mattathias. He had a son named Alexander Janus. And Alexander Janus, if we kind of just focus in on him, he himself had two sons, Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus. And these guys become important for the transition from the Hasmonean dynasty into the time of Rome. So as Rome's power started to grow, Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus II, they both appealed to General Pompey of Rome to become kings of Israel. Well, Pompey chose Hyrcanus II. Aristobulus actually got imprisoned, but what he did is he provided, so Hyrcanus became the king, but he provided a key advisor to Hyrcanus II, a guy named Antipater. And this is a very important figure, as we'll see shortly. But Antipater was not necessarily Jewish. He was an Idumean, which meant he was an Edomite descendant, a descendant of Esau, Jacob's brother. So when Julius Caesar defeats Pompey, because Hyrcanus II and Antipater supported Julius Caesar instead of Pompey, Julius Caesar makes Hyrcanus the ethnarch, or the ruler of Judea, and he makes Antipater the governor of Judea. So this becomes important for the New Testament because Antipater himself appoints his two sons, Phasael and Herod, as military governors of Judea and Galilee. And Herod is, of course, the first Herod that we are introduced to at the beginning of the Gospels. But when Antipater died, a war breaks out. A number of crazy things happen, but Herod flees to Masada and then over to Rome. And when he gets to Rome, Herod appeals to the Caesar to become the king of Judea. And he is granted that wish. And so Herod returns to Judea with a legion of Roman soldiers, and he takes ownership of Judea. And what he does inaugurates what's known as the Herodian dynasty. So Herod becomes a key player in the New Testament scene. So this is a little bit of an introduction to Herod, but what this now does is this sets us up to talk about some of the important New Testament rulers that are key for understanding the events of the gospel. So in our final lesson of this module on the historical setting of the Gospels, what we want to do is we want to take a short look, an introduction look to some of the most important New Testament rulers in the Gospels.